Alright people, let's get into the greatness that is Bleach. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you guys are feeling better from this chapter, because this chapter, it just like resetted the scales on how I'm thinking now. That scales, that's not a pun intended. Either way, I'm just like, I came into this chapter thinking, okay, we're gonna see some awesomeness, like Ishin and Ryukin, we're gonna see some of that greatness and all that kind of stuff. We didn't see them in this chapter, but either way, nonetheless, I was prepared to be hyped in this chapter. But I did not see that coming. I did not see Ichigo in like a full hollow form at the end of the chapter. I can't even, like, I'm hyped, but I'm also like, this ain't just happiness. This is like peace, because I've been wanting to see anything resembling holification or anything resembling Ichigo's hollow white true Zangetsu for ages. Ever since Ichigo fought Ukiura, I wanted to see more of that greatness. And now we finally gotten it. It's just like, we're going to see such awesomeness. I can promise you that, people. In the next couple of chapters, we're going to be we're going to be seeing such awesome things. We're going to be seeing some Cereals flying out of here. We're not going to be seeing just normal Gets Against shows. We're going to be seeing different attacks. We're going to just be seeing ferocity? Is that a word? Okay, let's find a synonym. We're going to be seeing such brutality in the next couple of chapters. Yeah, that's a better word for Ichigo. Or Zangetsu, or white, or hollow, or whatever this is, because I'm so hyped right now. And what I love about it is Kubo still gets us, Kubo still kind of trolls us. Like, we don't actually know what this is right now. Obviously this is not Ichigo's bankai, but it's not his shikai, if you kind of get my drift. Now, with these past couple of chapters, Kubo's been releasing a lot of different stuff, like a lot of sly hints. He's been poking a lot of sly hints at us. Ever since when Byakuya says there's never been such a thing about an unsealed state of a Zanpaktou, we've been thinking, hang on, what about Ichigo? Like, ever since that we've been thinking. Then with freaking Kenpachi's bankai, how it changes his whole form, we've been thinking, wait, hang on, does a bankai make you change your own state and consciousness? And then we've been thinking, maybe so, maybe no. Like, Kubo's just been giving out such great content, honestly. It's literally week after week, everything's getting better. I knew this year was going to be a year for Bleach. Ever since we stepped feet? Doesn't make sense. Ever since we've entered the Soaking Palace, ever since we've entered, the Ice Palace, because I remember Kubo saying that there'll be a time where they'll be like in an Ice Palace or something like that. Ever since we've entered that, it's been straight flames, honestly. Kubo's just doing what Kubo does best, just getting us hyped. Now, I really did enjoy this chapter, and I really like how everything kind of comes together. And there's two things where everything comes together. For the past couple of chapters, people have been complaining, saying, oh, Ichigo's just rushing in, he's not even thinking, that shows no character development. I thought he's supposed to be a true Soul Reaper now, since he's found out his whole history, his past, he should be grown, we should be seeing some characterization. Yet in these past couple of chapters, we've been seeing Ichigo just running head in, not thinking, getting himself literally beaten up. So I really like how in this chapter, everything was to a plan, and that shows how smart Ichigo is. It shows how much he's actually grown. If you look back from the start of Bleach, Ichigo wasn't always like that. Now, don't get me wrong, Ichigo has been a smart character from the start, but he's been more that fights on impulse, or mainly his main drive was to protect his friends, protect his family, and he done that at any cost. He never really, most times when he went to battle, he weren't always just like, alright, this is how I'm going to take the enemy down. All he had when he was going to a battle was just like, I don't know how I'm going to defeat you, but I have to defeat you. Whereas now, Ichigo, he's got strategy, he's got a plan, he's got a backup. Like, he's got even Inoue as his defense. Like, Orihime, she's been doing well in these past couple of chapters. I have been happy for her with how she's actually been taking an active role in the fight. Some people have been saying, oh yeah, the Kurosaki-kan, that doesn't actually annoy me. Maybe I'm one of the only people that every time she's always shouting, Kurosaki-kan, Kurosaki-kan, that doesn't generally annoy me, because first of all, I haven't managed to fixate on that. I genuinely never realised it actually. Not until recently. So either way, now realising it still doesn't annoy me, because I'm not really fixated upon that. That's not really a massive part of her character. Either way, what Orihime has been doing in these past couple of chapters is been strides above what she's been used to be doing. Because if you think about it, for example, in the Soul Society arc, or in even Waco Mundo arc, in the arc which was supposed to be fixated on her, she didn't really do much. She was extremely passive from the start of Bleach. Now she's actually taking active roles. She's actually being brave and confident enough to wanting to do something and contribute to help. She doesn't always want to be the one who always gets saved. She actually wants to help save other people. To kind of get my drift. So that's really been awesome, especially seeing what she's been doing in this chapter. Well, working in conjunction with Ichigo, like not even a millisecond lag. Ichigo's just like, no wait, bam, defense is up. So I've really been happy about that. I'm really enjoying Orihime's role in this fight, which is playing out. Now, I want to talk about the expression that Ichigo gives towards Orihime. So Orihime grabs out to Ichigo, and then Ichigo looks back at her and stares at her. Now, my first interpretation, at first I was just like, Ichigo's probably thinking like, boy, you better, like, girl, you better get off me, like, don't touch me, all that kind of stuff. But if you're looking deep into it, Ichigo's face is of calm, and it's like, it's, what's the word, I can't, it begins with a C, it's composure, that's the word. Okay, Ichigo's face is of composure, like, he's calm. So, it kind of, it's like the whole antithesis, it's the opposite of what Ichigo's been doing. His actions, how we thought Ichigo's just been butting in, just been running in, not even thinking, is actually the opposite. He's been going in thinking, because we find out in this chapter, he's doing this to, like, wake up his Quincy reaction. I want to get to that in a second. But, we kind of realised that throughout all this point in time since he's been fighting Jua, but he hasn't been fighting off emotion. Now, you can argue that at the start when Jua obviously stated about Ichigo, like, oh, like, all about your mother. We can argue, or it could possibly be true that Ichigo's obviously fighting off emotion, like he was hella pissed. That's probably true, but I think in that moment of heightened, like, anger and frustration, there's still an amount of sanity, there's still, like, a amount of sanity in it, like, there's still an amount of, like, oh, I'm thinking about this, I have to be, you know, like, careful of what I'm doing kind of thing, because you can't be reckless around Juhabak, otherwise Juhabak will, like, he'll get you and it's a wrap, like, honestly. So, I really did enjoy seeing about that in this chapter, how Ichigo has been planning through all that kind of stuff, and it really does show you, like, a lot of characterization, a lot of character development there, and that's really great to see. Now, this whole thing about this whole thing, I'm gonna try and not be hyped. I'm gonna try and bottle down the hypeness, man, because honestly, this is beautiful. Like, you see the horn coming out and everything, I'm just like, I can't explain to you, because if we go on a throwback, let's go back, when I was, a couple of years ago, when I was watching, the Bleach, the anime, Ichigo fighting Uryu, when I saw him in that form, and like, you see his back and he's not looking at you, I was just like, that is, honestly, I love Bleach, like, I honestly do, and one of the things that I love so much about it is the artwork. The artwork in the anime and the animation and the artwork in the manga and the animation in the anime, it is amazing. Now, in the manga, it is just beautiful, especially Ichigo's I've always loved Ichigo's holo character design. Like, I've always loved it. Especially when Ichigo was in the Vaste Lorde form fighting against Uryu. I thought, like, the artwork, it gave such an eerie kind of aspect towards it. It looked very lifelike, and it looked so, like, gothic and eerie. It was scary, or honestly it was, but at the same time, it looked so beast. So, it's just like, all these feelings are flooding back when I saw that last page, because that was just total hypeness right there. Total hypeness. And no, that's not a word, but it had to be invented just for that page, because it had to be. Now, I really now there's a bit of confusion about this. Now, I wouldn't say it's confusion, it's more like, Kubo, he didn't really allude to this in this chapter now. Obviously, we'll find this out in the next couple of chapters, but, pardon me, there's two things. Now, we need to clarify one thing. What is happening right now? Ichigo in this form, we know it's not a shikai, we know it's not a bankai. Does that make us lead to believe, is it a resurrection, or is it like some kind of segunda etapas like state? I'm not sure. My thoughts on it will probably be, because the way what Kubo said, he was just like black and white, separated and now one. Now, this is where it gets confusing, because you can take it in two ways. Black and white meaning white as in the hollow, and Sangetsu as in the Quincy, now one. Now, if that is true, that means what we're seeing at the end of the chapter is not Ichigo. Now, hold on and try and understand what I'm trying to say here. Don't, say, oh no, you're wrong, you're wrong. Now, if you try and think about it again, let's try and go deep for a second. White and Sangetsu, if they are one, that means that Ichigo's not there. That means that that's the materialized form of Ichigo's powers. Now, this is not my true thoughts of it, because I just don't think Kubo's going to go down that route of how he's going to literally the materialized form of his powers literally come out of his soul, and he's going to be fighting alongside Ichigo, because we didn't really see much of, like, at the end, the last spread page, it kind of looked a bit ambiguous, because we didn't even see the swords, we didn't see, like, the full of Ichigo's body, and it just looked like, obviously because there was like a lot of smoke and an eruption, maybe that was just a materialized form, because it looked like Ichigo said, I had to jolt this guy up, I had to wake him up, so it's kind of seemed like, is this person coming out of his soul like a materialized form? That would be awesome, but I don't really think that's true. Now, the other thought, there's two more theories where you can take from it. Now, there's one where it can be Ichigo and his hollow, like Ichigo and Zangetsu, they're one. So it's kind of like a true form of the Vaste Lorde, but Ichigo's in control, if you kind of get my drift right there. So it's kind of a state which is transcendent above the Vaste Lorde, but now Ichigo's in control of this form. It could be that one, which I think it probably is, but again, it said I had to wake up this Quincy. So unless that's a translation error, I'm wondering, why does Ichigo have to wake up his Quincy Ryatsu to activate White, which is a hollow, which is part of his Shinigami powers? It doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't really click with me. So maybe I'm just, maybe my mind's just a little bit asleep today, and I'm not seeing what Kubo's trying to tell us. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems a little bit odd of how Ichigo had to wake up, how Ichigo said, I had to wake up this Quincy, or I had to wake up the Quincy Ryatsu in me, so this guy can, you know, get up or something like that. I don't remember, I'm just paraphrasing, by the way. So, I'm not really sure what Ichigo means along the line, so it makes me feel like this form which we see at the end of the chapter is Ichigo and Zangetsu on White, all in one form. So that Ichigo is using both of his powers right now, both Hollow and Shinigami on him right now. You kind of get my drift. I know I kind of described that a little bit loosely, a little bit not very technical, but you know, that's what it is. So maybe it's something like that. Either way, I'm really interested to see what's happening in the next couple of chapters, because I really can't describe this right now. I can't really say, oh, in Bleach chapter 675, Ichigo's Vaste Lorde came out, because you can't really say it is. It says a combination of the two, so I'm not sure what to say. Either way, it does have an essence of the Vaste Lorde, the essence of White within him, but I'm also sure that there's part of, you know, Zangetsu, like the Quincy part of him, because we only see one horn. Maybe that, I don't even know. Just tell me in the comments below what you thought of this chapter. I'm really hyped, but I nearly forgot one thing. Okay, the Hashro and Uryu. Now, this is actually really cool, because Hashro, he keeps alluding to these whole scales, yet Kubo's not really showing us. Kubo hasn't directly stated, oh, Hashro, be the balance. I don't know why Kubo's not doing this. Maybe he's kind of hinting to us that we don't know everything. Maybe it's like our thought of what the balance actually isn't just, you know, the scales or how he's managed to tip the scales in his favour. That is still an OP ability, but I feel like if it just was that, then Kubo would have stated it chapters ago. So I feel like there's something else about Hashro's powers. We'll have to find the next couple of chapters. I don't want to dive in too deep into that, because I don't want this review to be like unbelievably long. We're already on 30 minutes. Now, Hashro said something to Uryu. By the way, Uryu's bow right now looks so awesome right now. It looks so beast. I can't take it. I want to say one thing about Uryu. Now, this is obviously a joke, but like, the man doesn't die. Like, I don't know if that's going to be one of his abilities, but like, the Hashro is trying hard. Hashro, using Juhabark's powers, can take out Uryu. Hashro using his own powers couldn't take out Uryu. Now Hashro's going in the third time, people. The third time Hashro's trying to come in and defeat Uryu. Like, the man just won't die. Uryu is covered by plot armor so heavily that not even Hashro can take him out. That says something. Like, in the next couple of chapters, you're literally going to be seeing Juhabark walk down the stairs, try and behead Uryu, but that's not going to happen because the man is covered in so much plot armor. It's hilarious. But let's digress from that for a second. Now, Hashro said something about Juhabark's power, how there's something, the ability to see into the future is not the most terrifying part of it. Now, I'm not really sure what Hashro was kind of saying, but he kind of alluded to it. It kind of seems like he implied it, because throughout this whole fight, Uryu's been saying, oh, you can see the future, or His Majesty can see the future, but he hasn't seen the new warped version or the new version of me. So we know that the future is always ever changing. So what if another extension of the almighty ability of Juha means that he can kind of manipulate the future to his own will, manipulate the future to his own liking or to his own foreseen. For example, let's say Juha is a vision of the future that, you know, Ichigo's gonna kill him. But then we see, you know, in this chapter, but let's say that Juha sees in the future that, yeah, I was gonna say gonna kill him because of that whole, in the previous couple of chapters we just saw the whole dream. But I don't want to talk about that for a second because that's still a little bit trippy, that's still a little bit confusing. But let's say hypothetically that Juha he sees the future that he'll defeat Ichigo and he'll kill Ichigo. Now, we see in this chapter that Ichigo has an ability which maybe he's gonna have an advantage or an upper hand in this fight. Maybe this ability that Ichigo has, like this form, let's say it manages to change the future to where Juha won't be able to kill Ichigo. But if Juha has this power that I'm theorizing of how he can manipulate the future, he can kind of tweak it to his advantage, meaning whatever will happen, no matter the odds, no matter the probability or discrepancy, whatever he sees will happen without a doubt. Maybe something like that, I'm not sure, but either way, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this chapter. Sorry for this video being really long, I just had to pull out all my thoughts and hypeness on this video, on this chapter, because this chapter was lit. Now, I'm still hyped for next week. Kubo's just every chapter's just been delivering that. So in the comments below, Shin-Yong-Sam, and I'll see you next week for that greatness, that is Bleach chapter 676. If you liked anything I had to say, drop a like, that would be greatly appreciated. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below as well. I like to have discussions in the comments below, because I can talk about a chapter for hours, so just tell me everything in the comments below what you thought of it, and I'll see you next week for that greatness that is Bleach chapter 676. Subscribe for weekly reviews of Bleach, and I'm going to be able to stop talking because I can't breathe. Goodbye guys, see ya.